Show about big things. Hope you guys are having a great day today. We have a great show lined up for you guys today. Today is Friday, August 9th, and this week the weather is going to be fantastic for all you guys to get out there and go and do some summer festivals and go out and have fun, get out of the house, enjoy yourself. We got a great show lined up for you. First of all, check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com, and give us a call at 847-769-8609 to book a show. Every show is dedicated to the first responders. It's dedicated to people like you who take the time and watch the show. My good friend Anthony Melchiotti was right there ready to answer some questions, and he's going to talk about a lot of stuff here. He's a guy who knows a lot of shit, so it's good. Stellic Health, Emotional Recovery Reset. We're going to talk about a lot of good stuff for health-wise. We're going to talk something about a company he's trying to do now to learn how to play golf in 4 weeks online for the first person who's never even held a golf club. We'll talk about his band, Billy and the Vintage Saints, and we'll talk about the no-no politics. So, Dino Manzella from Seventh Heaven. Yeah, it's that time, folks. Ocean's Pit, little show about big things, Monday to Friday. And of course, folks, we have to thank our sponsors. The number one sponsor is Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Norridge, Des Plaines, Evergreen Park, Warrenville, and Mesa, Arizona. 50% off all lawn garden decor, 40% off outdoor decorative chimes, patio sets on sale, the lowest of the season. Also, the Norridge and the Des Plaines store have licensed and insured handymen. They have a lot of good things going over there, folks. Tune up that lawnmower for $105 plus parts and take advantage of the auto key programming at all their stores. They program and card cut keys up to 50% less than the dealership. Visit the Helpful Hub to speak to a certified team member. And don't forget, folks, tell them to grill your ace off. All you got to do is walk into the store and go grill your ace off and get $20 off any grill purchase. That's our friends Ace Hardware, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Also, folks, let's not forget my good friend Mary Grievous. If you're looking for real estate, selling houses, boy, it's the business. Everybody sees they're all moving on Illinois. So this is the person you want to use. Buying in the Chicagoland area or selling, the perfect real estate professional, whether you're putting your home on the market or looking for your dream home, give her a call today. Berkshire Hathaway Stark Real Estate is available. Assist buyers, sellers for sale by owners, expired listings. Grievous at starkre.com, or give Mary a call at 630-688-1725 and tell them Tony Ocean sent you, folks. And if you're going to talk about Mary Grievous, you're also going to have to talk about NTD Vacations, folks, because that's what she runs. And if you're talking about NTD Vacations, then you know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Chicago Music Cruise 2025. It is going to be, now you missed the one we did in January. Don't miss this one coming up March 22nd through March 30th, 2025, Royal Caribbean, Oasis of the Seas. This is spring break. This is 8 days instead of the one we did last time was 7 days. We're going to start off in Fort Lauderdale. We're going to go to Carousel. We're going to go to Aruba, and we're going to go to Coco Key, Bahamas. Now, that's just incredible. Aruba alone is fantastic, folks. Now, the entertainment, Mojo's Jukebox, Tony Ocean, the main event band. Also, Ron Starr will be joining us on that one. We got Hillbilly Rock Stars, the number one country band in the city of Chicago. We got Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez from CGI. We got Dean Childers from WLS will be there. We got Mark Odette and Yacht Club, his new band as well. Also, we got Seventh Heaven, the ringleaders, all of us on that ship. call my good friend Mary at 630-688-1725, NTD Vacations. Tell them Tony Ocean sent you. Also, Wendy Thompson with her tribute to Britney Spears and Marilyn Monroe. And let's not forget all three Jersey girls. It's going to be an incredible show, action-packed fun on the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. All right, so we are here live with my good buddy Anthony Melchiotti. And Anthony and I go back many, many years. We were in bands together. We've hung out together. He's a good guy. Him and his brother Ron. His mother's a sweetheart. Good people. And Ronnie, and I have to tell you something about Tony, folks. He's a great musician, but he's an incredible songwriter. He's got some great songs, and he's got a band right now with our other good friend, Billy Hall, Billy and the Vintage Saints. Of course, Billy Hall, you might remember from Dream Police. And they got some stuff going on, but I'm excited to have him on. I've been trying to get him on for a while. So Anthony's here, and before we start answering him any questions, Ryan Lewis, how you doing? Jerry Jams, Danny Nozak, Mary, happy belated birthday to Mary Canella. Buddy, great time last night. Thank you, Richard Hamlin, Albert, Ron Onesti Organization. How you doing? Packy's in the house, Ohio. Santa Barbara, California, say hello to Iowa, say hello to Florida, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and Arizona. How you guys all doing? Welcome to Ocean's Pit. Thank you, everybody that showed up last night to Tropical Thursday, Moretti's in Edison Park. What a packed house. With all the festivals and everything going on, Rosemont and Elmwood Park was going on. I didn't know what we were going to have. It is outside. It is Moretti's, a beautiful beer garden. So thank you, Jerry Jams. Happy birthday to Jan. Of course, the General. Thank you so much, Patrice, former Chicago Bear, Honey Bear, our good friend Nina, and Buddy. Thank you guys for last night. We appreciate it. All right. Anthony Melchiotti, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thanks for being on, man. You know what? We go back a long way. Me and you, some people might not know, on a band called Big Bang Rodeo, which we were on Star Search with Ed McMahon. Boy, that was pretty cool. You know, Anthony, I don't think we knew what we had back then.
Yeah. Harlan Williams, the comedian who went on from that show, was sitting next to us, and he was 20 years old trying out for the show with us.
How about it? Yeah, how about it? Yeah. And it was just a great experience. And that play in Tropical, what's the thing we did at Disney afterwards? What was that?
That was main stage, Disney World. Yeah, I think that, we have to do one show where we just talk about all the band stuff, because if people heard it, they would never believe like how all of that stuff happened and how easy it was. Do you remember meeting Cheap Trick and we brought our demo tape? People see bands all the time. We found out Cheap Trick was playing in Aurora. This was with our band 1313. So we brought a cassette tape, waited for Cheap Trick to come off stage, stood there, handed him the cassette tape, and they said, well, come on back. So we just get invited back, the whole band. We took pictures with Cheap Trick, met them.
Isn't that when the Doctor came out, right? When John Brandt was in the band?
Brandt was in there. So we go from handing him a cassette tape to going backstage, and John Brandt writes out his address and says, all right, listen, I'll produce you guys. Come to my house on Monday. Yeah. Next thing I know, we grew up loving Cheap Trick. Next thing I know, I'm in the guy's house.
Yeah.
And we're producing the songs, and I don't know. Yeah, we went to Jim Peterick's studio and recorded that demo with the Cheap Trick engineer.
Yeah. And then, of course, you sent all these packages to Gene Simmons from Simmons Records, and then South by Southwest and all that. Yeah. So
that's another thing.
We'll have to do a show just on that.
Yeah.
You have a lot of things to talk about here, my good friend Anthony Melchiotti. Let's talk about, you're on the board certified specialist in biofeedback in integrative philosophy. Well, tell us what that is for people that might not know in the lame terms of the everyday person. What is that you actually do?
Yeah, so I'm certified in integrative psychology and biofeedback. Biofeedback is using different frequency tones to help the brain to relax, or if someone has phobia, anxiety, depression, unresolved emotional issues, and you're able to calm the brain while they think of maybe a traumatic event that they're having. And then you put them in a calm state, and you're retraining the brain that when this trauma comes back to mind, it's relaxed. And you just do that through different tones. They use it for phobias, for any kind of emotional issue that's unresolved. And that's really powerful. We also use it for different medical conditions like Lyme disease or autoimmune disorder, people who have addiction, everything like that. You're just able to, and we do it all through Zoom. So here's the beauty. After COVID, our clinic is in Rosemont, Cumberland and Higgins. But after COVID, they closed our offices. So we had to switch everything to online. And when I did that, that opened my practice up to the entire United States. And I have people in Greece and Italy because now all the visits were done through Zoom, like we're doing, you and I.
Right.
And the person on the other end just puts on headphones and listens while I'm guiding them through each area or each emotional issue. They listen to the healing tones right through their headphones in their house. They never have to leave their home.
They never have to leave their home.
No, and even when we did reopen the clinic, people said, well, I'm going to just keep doing it from home because they don't have to get dressed. They don't have to drive in the traffic. They don't have to do anything. And you can work with people all over the United States. I have people in New Mexico, Florida, California. I have celebrities that I work with that I can't say, but they're all in California. So yeah, it's incredible. And the integrative psychology is the same thing. It's looking at different areas that your brain might be stuck because the way you were brought up or your old patterns, and it finds what those patterns are and then helps you identify them and then switch them. So you don't keep doing the same pattern over and over.
See, let me ask you something. Does it affect men or women, or is there a difference, or a certain age? Does it affect younger kids, older people? How does this all come about?
Yeah, I think it's anytime, you can have kids who have anxiety. So ever since you're born, from 0 to 7, you're being programmed by your parents and by everything you're picking up. And then you start going to school, and now you interact with other kids and you pick up little patterns from them. So this is something that, yeah, you're picking up all through your life, but men and women both are affected by it. I think what happens is men, because they want to be like the tough outer shell, they don't want to show the emotion or say that they're dealing with it, but they all are. They're like getting crushed by emotions. And women are just more, open about their emotions, and they'll tell you, like, I have anxiety, I have fear, anger, whatever.
That makes a lot of sense. And you know what? It's something that it's a continuing thing that they go with you. It's like it's not like here's 3 weeks and you're done, right? It's a continuous thing once you sign on to this thing. So this is actually kind of cool, folks. Because look, everybody out there's got something. And even when someone was saying if you go see a psychiatrist or you go see some help, sometimes it's always better to go out and try things. Even I think it's important if you feel like you're down or something or something's there, get it checked out. And you know what, Anthony's been doing this business for over 25 years. How did you get into it? And first of all, why did you get into it?
Yeah, so my issue was right after the band. I started to have panic attacks, anxiety attacks that just came out of nowhere. And, everywhere we were on tour with Joan Jett, we played with Rick Springfield. We were in front of like 6,000 people. So I never had anxiety. Do you ever remember that? I was totally fine.
We didn't know.
And then
right?
just out of nowhere, I started having this, and I didn't know what it was. I thought I was having a heart attack or dying. So, when you go to the doctors, they mean well, but they want to just throw a bunch of pills at you and get you all drugged up.
Bingo.
And I didn't want to be on Prozac or because then you walk around like a zombie. And like you said, I'm a songwriter, I'm a musician. My brain has to be sharp. I can't be walking around on Prozac. So I started looking all alternative different therapies to get over the anxiety. And I had some health issues. My health started crashing. So I went back to school. One of the doctors I went to was a traditional Chinese doctor. That was my teacher. And then he said, you should go back to school and learn this because you could help people with your story and because you've been through it. So I went back to school for 3 years, Wellness Institute, got a degree from there, went to College of DuPage for Chinese medicine. And then after that, the next 6 years went through integrative psychology and then the biofeedback. So yeah, it's been 25 years, but yeah, it was really out of me trying to help myself where I had to learn all these tools. And to me, that's better because you're learning it because you experienced it.
At the same time. Anthony Melchiotti is on our guest here, folks, live here on Ocean Spit. Something that you guys might know, know Anthony for Adam, but if you do, Anthony grew up, when he grew up, he was always a healthy eater. He didn't eat like shit. He didn't drink barely. He had a couple shots of Jack every now and then, but
Yeah.
he was a pretty healthy guy. And so you never know. I mean, this stuff can hit you, and you have to get it checked out. And look, if you didn't have those things, you could have been having that all the time. You never would have noticed it. Anybody in your
Right.
family have this, Ron? I mean, Tony?
No, it's just something that came up. And, it's also, there's a lot of toxicities that we grew up with that our parents didn't grow up with. So a lot of us have mercury poisoning or heavy metal poisoning and all the chemicals that are in the food that get accumulated. That didn't happen to our grandparents. Everything was from scratch.
You're absolutely right. I also noticed, Teen, you probably noticed it too, because I noticed a lot of times you post certain things about food and stuff. If you they showed they showed a package of the oatmeal made in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed the same package, the back of the package, with a picture of it in the UK. And the picture of the UK, the stuff that was in it was like maybe 2-3 lines. That was it.
Right, that's it. Yeah, two or three ingredients.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
On the United States package, it was like 2 paragraphs long of everything that was in this stuff. Why do they do this in the United States and not anywhere else in the country?
Yeah, because the United States, just the size of us, and also because of profit margins, they want to keep things on the shelf longer. So if you want to put any kind of food on the shelf that's going to be able to sit on the shelf for 6 months, you have to start adding chemical additives, preservatives, so that it doesn't spoil. So we have such high volume. I mean, look at when you go to Jewel, there's probably like 80 different cereals. We have just high volume in all of our stores, and a lot of that food gets thrown away, right? If it hits the expiration date, they have to throw it all out. So
Right.
They're trying to make it last as long as they can. Also, when you're adding binders and fillers, like they're allowed to add wood pulp to food, what that does is you only have to use maybe a quarter of the ingredient, the main ingredient of food, and then you can use another quarter of the wood filler, and you bulk up the food, right? So you're getting more for your profit.
Your profit. Right,
Yeah.
right. Wow, interesting stuff, folks. Anthony Melchiotti, folks. Have Danny Mazzi on, one of our sponsors, folks, from Armando Supermarkets, 925 East Liberty Street in Elgin, Illinois. Buy local, shop local. And Mike and Gigi from Crash Champions Collision Auto Repair for all your collision and auto repair needs. Go to CrashChampions.com. Tonight, folks, will be at Taylor Street Italian Fest. Around on Estes again. It started yesterday, and we go on at 8:30 main stage. It is going to be fantastic. It's a big crowd there, so you got to get there early because they don't save seats, but they expect about 10,000 people. That's how big this festival is. It's fantastic.
Wow.
We go on at 8:30. It's great with the main event band, Danny Ramundi, Tony Toto, Ron Starr, Jerry Jams, Daryl Armenstadt, Regina Karma, and Mikey D. All 8 pieces will be on stage tonight, so I'm excited. Anthony Melchiotti, tell us, so you're also the founder of Quantum Response Tech. Is that basically the same thing?
Yeah, quantum response is looking at where the person would be stuck in their life. Like, what are things that keep happening to them in their career, in their family, in their relationship, or with health issues? What's something that's a constant loop? Identifying it. So I always tell people the way we explain it with what we've been doing is, if you came to me and said, when I first bought my computer, it ran perfectly, it was super fast, and now it just doesn't run good. We'd have to go through and find out what viruses your computer picked up. And then the first step in quantum is identify what virus your computer has, then remove that virus. And if we just stop there, we say, wow, my computer runs good. But we take it a step further. We say, well, what programs did you want to install that were never installed? So a good example is, I see a lot of people who go to these self-help. They buy all the self-help books. They go to the seminars. They go to the retreats.
Sure.
And they hear all this great stuff, and they get all hyped up. And then when they get home, 3 weeks later, they're right back to themselves. And the reason is because until you install, if that person does not have the program for motivation, focus, self-drive, all this stuff, if they don't even have that program, they can't go home and implement anything that they learn. So they hear it all. It sounds great,
Yeah.
but they can't do it. And it's just like the New Year's Eve resolution. People sounds great. They write it all down. But
Yeah.
if they don't have motivation, focus, they can't do it. It's not going to happen. So we help people to install the new program, learning focus techniques and inspiration techniques, creative problem solving. And this works for kids. It works for any age. So.
And it sort of reprograms it's like your head's a computer, like it is, and it reprograms it to get it the way you need, everything that you want in your head. It makes a lot of sense. Our good friend Claudine Grippo. Claudine, how you doing? She said you helped.
Claudine did. Yeah, she was
helped with her migraines, right? With her migraine headaches,
yeah.
she said.
So a lot of people who have migraines, insomnia, and Claudine's a good example. And Claudine, we got to give her a shout out because she's like her and Ron are the 5th and 6th hidden member of Big Bang Rodeo.
Yes,
they were at all the practices you and I were at.
All the practices, absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
So they put in the time, and then Ron became our production manager.
How about it?
And boy, ran the whole show.
Ran the whole thing, especially our fun. We're going to have another show. We'll just talk about our Texas trip because that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Picking up the hobo and what are you doing here?
Yep.
Oh, that's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Anthony Melchiotti. So if they want to find you, it's New Life. What's the website?
NewLifeHolistic.com. And what we do on there is you go to NewLifeHolistic.com, put in your name, your email. Someone's going to get in touch with you. We do a free consultation. I try to do the actual consultation myself because I want to find out what issue you're dealing with, how long you've dealt with it, what you've tried before to fix it. And I'll honestly tell you if we could help you or not. I want to see if we're a good fit. And that's what I've done for 25 years. I've never advertised. For 25 years, I've had this business through word of mouth because people get such incredible results. They go tell 10 people. And
that's how it works.
Come in and they tell everyone, I've never bought any advertising. You've never seen any of it.
So what you're also trying to do is get people off the pills that like a regular doctor would say. They're trying to, like you said, okay, take this. They keep just pre-medicating people. And that's never going to stop here in the United States, is it, T?
No, I think a lot of people, that is the approach. They just want a quick fix. So the people who want a quick fix, they're always going to go that route. And that's okay. I don't have a problem with it. Right. As far as taking people off medication, legally, I'm not allowed to take anyone off medication. You have to talk to your doctor. But if your focus is, hey, I have anxiety or stress and I want to learn how to not. So for me, the idea would be not teaching people coping methods. Like, here, let's give you Prozac, or let's teach you to do breathing exercises to help you through your anxiety. My idea is we have to go back and find out what happened in your childhood, what happened at some point in your life that triggered anxiety. And now whenever that feeling comes up again, you go back into the anxiety. We need to find out where that is. Once we remove that, we don't have to cover up the anxiety. It's gone. So that's really what I'm more interested in, solving the problem than covering it up with drugs.
Yeah, you're ready. You want to solve it. You just don't want to put a Band-Aid on it. So you have to keep changing it and it makes a lot of sense. Anthony Melchiotti is with us, folks. Before we get into the golf thing, which is going, we're going to talk a lot with Anthony. Let's get down to Gorelli Pavement Services, folks. You know, it's that time of season. You companies, people out there, they need it. Gorelli Pavement Service, family owned and operated. Their service includes Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, specializing in parking lots, doing both asphalt, concrete work. They do repairs, replacements, seal coating, crack filling, a lot painting, 5-star rating. Call and speak to a knowledgeable representative, 815-271-5835, or go to GorelliPavementServices.com and tell them Tony O sent you. And then, of course, if you're looking to fix up the house, the yard, or your companies, your landscaping, one guy to go to, that's Jack Vena Landscaping. They offer monthly maintenance programs, bush trimming, spring and fall cleanup, bed mulching, fertilizing, weed control. They offer plant design service and installation, servicing the North Shore for 44 years. Call Tommy at 847-432-5266 and tell him Tony Ocean sent you. Oh, Anthony Melchiotti is our guest today on Ocean's Pit. Anthony, you came up with someone, you were talking about golf. Now, people ask me if I play golf. I don't have the patience for golf. I don't care for it. I do it a couple times a year. We did the Mike Ditka one. We do the a la carte one. We do certain ones. I can't golf. I'm better off. I'm so bad that I had the lowest score, the worst score possible, and I won a George Foreman grill. And I won a Jack Daniels golf bag with the clubs for the worst.
Wow.
For the worst, I'm sure it was rigged because there was no reason. How did I get that bag?
Yeah.
That's about very, very cool. So I'm not much into it. But before we get into the golf, Boyd, thank you for watching, buddy. What about edibles or pot? That's a question that we completely forgot to ask you. What about Anthony, people who do that, they take pot to go to sleep. They take pot for this. They take pot for that. Marijuana,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
So what I would say there again is, you know, there's going to be people who gravitate toward pharmaceutical and they say, well, I can't sleep at night, so I take a Klonopin before I go to bed. And the other person says, well, I can't sleep at night, so I take CBD or I take marijuana.
Yeah.
The same thing is what we need to find out is why are you not going to sleep? Our body has a circadian rhythm. The brain goes from an alpha wave to a theta wave to a delta wave. Why are you not going into these processes? What I would look at then from the chemistry angle, are you taking in too much caffeine? People don't understand. When you take in caffeine, it could stay in your blood for 18 hours. Some people are hyper affected by it. You or I could drink coffee and go right to bed. It has no effect on me.
Tony,
Right.
I drink coffee. I drink a cup of decaf in the morning. But if I drink anything caffeinated, I mean, really bad.
Right.
Really bad.
So if we could figure out what's going on in the chemistry and balance that chemistry and then find out if they're having any, anxiety or fight or flight. If we fix that, there's no need for the CBD or the Prozac. CBD is just another natural masker that will mask your symptomology instead of addressing your issue. One thing I got to say real quick is that 25 years ago, what I started seeing at the clinic, when people came in and they said, hey, I have constipation. Hey, I have migraines. Hey, I have stomach pain whenever I eat food. Hey, I have joint pain. When you fix the emotions on people, their anxiety, their stress, their depression, you take them out of fight or flight. And the minute they come out of fight or flight, the whole body chemistry changes and you see the shoulders drop and they feel natural again. And then you go ask them, all right, we took care of your emotion. Now let's start working on the constipation. And they'll say, no, that's all gone. And we'll say, well, let's work on your migraine. No, those are gone. What about your stomach ache? No, that's fine. That's when I started to focus on emotion first and then go toward the issue they have, because a lot of it would just fall away.
It's amazing. You fix one little problem and it can take care of a lot of other things in your body, which is something you guys might want to definitely take a look. At least give it a shot, read it, listen to it. Give me the website again, Tony, one more time.
NewLifeHolistic.com.
That's right. New Life. That's HOLISTIC.com. Absolutely. Ocean's Pit Little Show about big things, folks. Golf made easy. Learn how to play golf in 4 weeks online. Tony, are you a golfer?
Yeah, I'm like a scratch golfer. Ron's a pro golfer.
Okay, so you just do it. Yeah. You just do
it. Ron is golfing like 5 times a week, going on trips. Him and Shug and all these guys. Those guys are pros. Yeah, I golf like just for fun, like what we did in the band. Yeah.
Yeah, I just, look, I don't get it. I mean, I understand it. People ask me the same thing, Tony, how do you fish? I don't get it. You stand there and look at a pond and you wait. So I tried golfing and I noticed the 2 groups of people when you golf. You have the guys like us that go there, have a couple cocktails, smoke some cigars, yell, scream,
that's it.
Go off on each other and have fun. That's the one group. And then you have another group behind you that are all, dressed with the little thing and the hats and all this crap. And they're, can't talk, can't do that. So they should just come up with 2 different golf courses, because one is.
Well, you know what? You got to see Ron and his friend. Ron is like the mix of both. They're like all pro golfers, but they're there just to smoke cigars, have fun, do Bloody Marys.
And bust balls.
They're doing both. Yeah, they're doing both.
They're like, Ron, so what you're trying to tell me, Ron's like John Daly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, him and his
one of my favorite golfers. Right. There you go.
Yep.
And he has fun. But you're right. It's not an easy sport to learn. It's a lot of patience. So what made you come up with this 4 weeks online, learn how to play golf?
Yeah, actually, it was my business partner, Joe Bianchini. He's a golfer. This guy travels on outings. He goes to Scotland. He goes all over golfing, all over the world. And he was in the middle of putting together a online golf program that taught you how to increase your swing and your distance and draws and all this real specific stuff. And I said, you know what I've never seen is a course for people who have never stepped onto a golf course or have never even held a golf club in their hand. How come there's not a course for those people? People who are intimidated. You know, we've invited people to golf outings. Ron used to do a Malchioti golf outing for like 13 years. He organized it all. And they would say, hey, let's do this or that, and let's come out and let's have fun. And people would say, no, I can't do that. I'm embarrassed, and I've never done this. And I said, you know what? Those people need a course. And then from that point on, that's when we started to build this course. People who they're seeing everyone having fun, like you said, they're out there having a good time, and they can't get involved because they say to themselves, there's too much to learn, there's too many rules, and I got to buy the clubs, I don't know how to hold the club. Every objection you have is all covered. The course has 94 video lessons in it. I think it's $99. It teaches you everything.
$99 online. You can learn how to play golf. This is even for a man or a woman or a kid, whatever, who has not picked up a golf club.
Right. It could be any age. You could give it to your kids. You could give
and
it
they
to
will
your
learn
wife.
how. It's almost. Is it like Dolph? Remember Tim Conway's golfing?
Yeah. I should have did it like that.
Something like that. Speaking of John Daly, Ron Daly is watching. Ronnie Malchioti. What's up, my good friend Ron? I hope you're doing well. So, but that's interesting. So it's a bunch of videos. You pay for it and you learn how to do it.
It's broken into 4 segments. The first group of videos just teaches you everything about golf itself, the rules, the etiquette, all the slang terms that people use, the terminology. Then you get a little, the next group shows you like a little diagram of the course, and it shows you how the courses are set up and what a tee box is and what a putting green is. You're learning all this. Yeah. And then by the 3rd and 4th video sections, we were lucky. Here in Illinois, there's a state champion, a high school state champion, a college champion, Alex Mondero. And this is Dodi Mondero's son, Alex.
Okay.
And so he's like maybe 25 years old. He came in, and this guy has a swing like Tiger Woods. So we did all of our lessons using Alex as like our swing person, right? So we're explaining it to you, and you're seeing Alex do it, and the guy does it perfectly. Yeah. Every shot is perfect. So yeah, you really get everything you need to know in that one course. And I've heard people before, they say, well, I tried watching YouTube, and YouTube, you're going to be all over the map. There's no continuity there. This course just takes you from A to B to C. You just go right through a format, and in 4 weeks, you're ready to start golfing. And we always say on the video, you're not going to be Tiger Woods in 4 weeks, but like you're going to be able to go to an outing and just have fun with people. Yeah, that's what the course is for.
Yeah, and then it's up to you to do the research and study and keep going out there and playing, because you know what, you
go
have
to the range.
You got to be on the range. Go to those shooting ranges. Yeah. I mean, go to the top golf places and practice hitting the ball. You know, it's important to do that too. But this is just a little stepping stone to try to get you to where you want to be, which is very cool. Tony, is it? Do you know there's a difference? Is a women golf? Are there completely 2 different ways of playing, or is it the same?
No, everything really applies. The only thing I would say different is when you tee off in the tee box, there's the women tees and then there's the regular tee, right? So they put the women tees a little bit closer to the hole. Yeah. So instead
so why is that?
Probably just because men are going to hit a drive 300 or 250 to 300, and the woman is probably going to hit 250 to 200. But who knows? I've seen women out there who go from the men's tees and hit further than men. So it's really, that's what's the beauty. When you step up to the tee box, you can decide where you want to tee off from. That's up to you.
It's up to you. Yeah. Which is cool. It makes sense. You know, they do it for the women that way. That's like when these 2 idiots or this guy. That's another topic in itself. When having this male guy who's not a male, whatever the hell it is, and
Yeah.
they do boxing against a woman.
Yeah.
Uh, I never understood that. Let's get to before we got a couple more topics, but before we do that, folks, let's not remember we got a busy week tonight. Taylor Street, the main event band hits the stage at 1:30. Big crowd, it'll be a fantastic place. Tomorrow is Two Private Affairs, but Sunday, folks, we're going to be Oceans Rat Pack will be at the Taste of Elmwood Park. Going back to my hometown, that's a 2 to 3:30 in the afternoon. Oceans Rat Pack. Then on the 14th of August at Little Pops. New York style pizza and New York style food. It's one of my favorites in the city of Chicago, in the suburbs of Chicago. It's in Lisle. We're celebrating Jerry Jam's birthday on the Wednesday on the 14th. The 15th will be at Benuti's in Addison. The 17th, Taverna on Division with Double T. The 18th, two shows. Freddy's famous Freddy's Roadhouse in Fox Lake from 2 to 5, Tony Ocean. And then Ocean's Rat Pack will be at the Carnival on Fulton Market at a 10 o'clock show for some of the Democratic Convention people, not the actual Democratic Party, just some of their people. So we're doing a show for the Carnival for our good friend, former state senator Bill Marovitz on the 18th. 22nd of August will be at Positano's in Oak Brook. 29th, Pastamia's. 30th, back to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin on the 24th. And the 31st will be back at the Taste of Melrose Park. Busy, check out the website, a lot of stuff. All right, Bill, Tony, being a musician, like I said, we were in a band called Big Band Rodeo, 1313. We've toured, played with some big names, did the Star Search thing. The difference between Star Search, American Idol wasn't like Star Search because Star Search was more, they had dancers, right? They had singers, they had comics, and then American Idol was just singers.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the postmodel, yeah. Some of the people who won from Star Search, Sinbad, Sawyer Brown came from them, right?
Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone, yeah. I forgot who else came out from there. But yeah, it was an interesting stuff. But you got a new band now, Billy and the Vintage Saints, power pop, rock
Billy
music.
Hall.
Billy Hall, gotta love him. We go back with Billy many, many years. Also, Billy's a guitar player with Dream Police. Tell us a little bit about what kind of music you'd hear if you go see Billy and the Vintage Saints.
He wrote an album. Yeah, he's been writing since we were together. So Billy was in Big Bang Rodeo with you and I in the beginning.
Yeah, right.
And we wrote that whole first demo. Those were his, my songs, his songs with Wonder, Crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
And then, he was in Dream Police. So his background is the same as yours and mine. It's Cheap Trick and that kind of like power pop and off Broadway and Pez Band. That's his.
Bodine, a little Bodines, a little.
Bodine. Yeah. So when I guess during COVID, he wanted to record all these songs that had just been sitting there. So he had the time to do it. He has a home studio. So he recorded awesome songs and made a CD out of it. And it would be like what you said. It's like, reminds you of like Bodine, Tom Petty, Cheap Trick. So it's got all the power pop hooks in there. But I think he would sing it more, he's singing it like Bodine's or like Tom Petty, but with the power pop band.
Yeah.
And when we play live, it sounds even bigger because behind me I have the 8-string here, but when we play live, I play it 8-string and 12-string. So it sounds like a
la Tom Peterson.
Right. Yeah. Grant and Tom Peterson and Pete Comida.
Pete Comida, yeah. Cheap Trick, absolutely. So when can if they want to come see Billy and the Vintage Saints, when's the next gig?
The next one's going to be this Saturday at Rookie's Rock House in West Dundee.
That's a nice place, actually. What time do you hit? What time do you hit over there?
I think the doors open at 7. I'm sure the first band's going to go on at 8. We'll probably come on at 9. And they can go to billyandthevintagesaints.com. And all the songs are there. So you could go there for free and you could go through every song we play.
Listen to the songs, folks, before you go out. They're all original music. You do a couple songs, but you're going to get into something which is nice because people are always looking for new music. This is some good new music that you want to listen to. If you like that power pop type, country type, it's very, very cool. A lot of hooks. So you'll be singing some of these songs when you're leaving the club and driving home. And that's
what I was going to say is weird. When you and I were in the Thirsty Whale era, like 87 through 94. The whole reason that you went to a club, the reason people would come and see 1313, and we would pack that place, they wanted to hear the songs of 1313. They didn't want to hear covers. We didn't do covers. I think we did Go All the Way by the Raspberries. We did like
Yeah,
one cover.
yeah.
And then we would do a medley. We were one of the first bands ever back then who started doing that medley. It was as a joke.
Remember like the 6 songs or 8 songs in 2 minutes, whatever it was. Yeah, I think we started that thing. I think when we first did it, right? And it seems now, Anthony, that more people are coming out for more of the social event, not necessarily the band.
Right.
Anymore.
And the band is like a jukebox or it's background music.
It's like background music.
We were like, you and I were really going to see Enough's Enough because we wanted to hear what their new songs were. We wanted to hear it live.
Yeah.
Now
but it's like it's even these new bands that are popular, the big ones. People, most of them. I can't say the new bands, but if you go see, like, say you went to go see, for a perfect example, when Rod Stewart came out and he was doing his rock stuff, people were going crazy. And then they take a break and he comes out with the tuxedo and he does the standard stuff, which he made 4 records of that, which sold more than any of his rock albums. But the thing was, a lot of people leave. They go get the popcorn, they get a beer, and they want to come back. So when a band goes out there, they want to hear the hits. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you play the new stuff. They like to hear that too. I don't know how many bands can get. I knew Springsteen when he's out there. People love to hear his new shit as well as his old stuff. But it's not the same as it used to be. Now people come out, well, it's too late, or it's too much money. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. I just try, or it's during the week because I got to work in the morning. Tony, there was times I remember that me and you would stay out at 4:00 in the morning with a stamp still in our hand, and we'd still go to work the next day or school, whatever it was.
Yeah, I think we would go 3 nights a week to Thirsty Whale because it was quarter beer night, then dollar drink night. And then the minute Thirsty Whale closed, everyone didn't want to go home. So we would all go to stay out and we'd be there till 4 or 5 in the morning. Sometimes we would just sleep in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
And then
we had to stop at Denny's.
Yeah, Denny's on Manheim Road. Yeah,
wherever we were. Yeah, I mean, and when you it's funny when you talk about the generation to the younger generation, they have no clue. They never heard of stuff like this. It's a whole different world. And we're going to talk a little bit about this whole crazy world with the no-no. There's a few things that you're not supposed to talk about. Religion, politics, which is another thing we'll talk about. I never know why two grown people can't have a regular conversation about someone without somebody pulling a knife out or stabbing you or unfriending you or this or that. You're garbage. You're a Nazi, whatever it is. It's something I never understood. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But before we do that, folks, it's that time. Again, if you're looking for windows and you want it done right, we're talking about airtight windows and siding, folks. That's right. Buy local, shop local. That's what it's all about, folks. If you're looking for new windows and you want it done right, do it right with Airtight. For honesty and quality, but dependability, do it right with Airtight. Servicing the Chicagoland area for 35 years, do it right with Airtight. Call Louis Pipes at 708-788-5000 and tell them Tony O sent you. Airtight Windows. You got to love it. It's a great company because you're buying local and you're shopping local. And that's what it's about, to support local establishments. Let's not forget Deutsch Power Center, folks, servicing the construction and diesel industry in Chicago for the last 100 years. Deutsch Power System, 224-276-6550. Tell them Tony O sent you. Roy McCampbell, attorney at law. If you're looking for a good lawyer, call Roy McCampbell. Statewide law practice that is client-focused and results driven. Roy is out of Rosemont, Illinois, 708-275-4264. And let's not forget my wife's company, Laura Ocean Solutions, increasing profits while reducing credit card fees. You'll never have to shop again if you shop with Laura Ocean Solutions. It's that simple, folks. All right, so let's get right to the naughty. Ooh, you can't talk about this. Oh, it's so crazy. The word politics. It's been, people have been disputing it and arguing about it for so many years. And Tony, there's guys out there that just rattle shit. But then there's guys out there that do their research and do their homework and do their investigating, and they find out certain things. Even though you give them all the facts, and Tony's real good at this, even though you give people all the facts, it's proven, people won't believe it. Oh, it's doctored, like the January 6th thing. Oh, it was doctored. You've seen the footage. You've seen the FBI. You've seen people bringing people in. It's amazing.
Police bringing them in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to talk about it. So there's a couple of questions that we put here. Let's talk. First of all, T. Why do you believe that people don't vote?
I think a lot of people believe that their vote isn't going to matter, so they just skip it. Some people think the voting is all fixed. Some people think they live in a community that's always going to be Democrat, like Cook County. So they've known what the voting results are for all these years, so they don't even bother.
And we know elections could be rigged. We knew that the John F. Kennedy election was rigged. If it wasn't for Mayor Daley and the Teamsters and the mafia, he won by the smallest percentage of any president. So we know it can happen. We know what happened in the last election. Of course, nobody will fight you on that. But it's interesting. Do you think more men or women vote?
I don't know. I hear a lot more women vote, but with the unions and everything, it's hard to tell because we don't have accurate counts. We're never going to know. You or I, we're never going to know realistically who's voting and who's harvesting ballots. Now that they have mail-in ballots, they can just harvest, 1,000 ballots, fill them all in, and just mix. So we don't know the truth.
Yeah, I know. I mean, my father got 4 ballots in the mail. He's been dead 25 years.
Yeah.
So we know.
By the way, who's he voting for?
Yeah, that's right. He's voting Democratic, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Which that never would have happened with my father. But it's a little crazy as it is. And why does it take so long? Like the last election, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, President Trump should have won that election. And then by the time 8 o'clock in the morning came, I don't know what happened. I mean, polls decided, they were too tired. Let's count. Let's wake up in the morning and count again.
Yeah, I never heard of this ever before. It was always you knew by that night, and the polling closed at 8 p.m., and then that was it.
That was it. And the next morning in the paper, you've seen who became president of the United States. We all watched the news and seen who it was. And now it takes like 3-4 weeks, 2 months after the date to figure out who the president is. I don't understand it, but American Idol can count 60 million votes in a commercial break.
Right.
Sounds crazy.
Well, again, because American Idol, they're digitized, so they're going by how many people are calling in, and they have call centers. Here they're saying, well, we have all these hand-stamped ballots. We have all these mail-in ballots. We have to go through all these bags of mail. So you just created this logjam that never was there before, when everyone just walked in and voted, and if you couldn't get to the polls, someone would come and pick you up and take you there. And if you still couldn't get there, you just didn't vote. That was the end of it. You didn't vote.
You got to vote.
The minute they turned it into mail-in ballots and all this absentee ballots, right, it all went out the window.
You got some great questions. We're going to go through a couple because we don't have that much time. But should we do everything in our power to become energy independent and self-relevant, like we were, drilling our own oil in the most environmentally safe methods? I think that's important, don't you?
Yeah, I think, you know what, when people are going to vote for this election, you have to really look at it as taking out the emotion and just looking at the policies. Like if you were going to hire a CEO of a company and you say, okay, look, our company's in trouble, we're losing money. And you say, well, why is your company in trouble? And you say, I don't know. We used to be energy independent. We were actually exporting oil to other countries. We had secure borders. We had the immigration under control, putting in new format for that. Everything was coming together. We had record stock markets. We had a record economy. We need to get that CEO back, or someone who's going to bring back those policies. So it's not about emotion, and it's not about, I don't like his personality, or he's angry and he's a bully and all that. We don't care about that. We just want to care about, how are we going to get back energy independence? How are we going to get out of the Paris Accord? Because that's a $1 trillion disaster. How do we get back out of that? Because he took us out of it. That's what we have to look at, is how do we get back on track? And who's the person who could put you back on track? This woman who was vice president, no one saw her for 4 years. Did you ever see her anywhere? Did you see
No,
anything
no.
she did? She disappeared for 4 years. The only thing that she was ever put in charge of was the border, and that's the biggest disaster in American history. So the one thing she was given, she destroyed. Why would you look at the person, you say, all we gave you was the border. How did you do with it? I destroyed it. All right, you know what? We're promoting you. You're going to be president now.
Yeah.
Why would you promote that person to president? They couldn't even handle the border.
They can't even handle it, and it's still not taken care of. It's crazy as
No.
it is.
It's 30 million people came through. 30 million people now. This is what people don't understand when they say, I'm going to vote for Trump because he's going to send them all back home. Well, first of all, you'd have to find all 30 million. You're never going to, how many agents would you have to hire to find these 30 million who are all over America? And even if you did find the 30 million, they said it would be billions to find them and then to send them back home. So what's going to happen is, and I'm calling it here on Ocean Pit, so watch this come true, is once he gets in office, they're going to say, you know what, we looked at the numbers, and if we try to round all these people up and try to send them all home, it's going to cost us $30 billion. So instead, we're going to let them all stay, we're going to charge them taxes, and we're going to make $30 billion. So let's just do it that way. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. They're not going to go back home.
That's incredible. I love that. And there you go. The Democrats, for some reason, the DNC, keeps trying to convince everybody how terrible former Donald Trump, how bad it would be if he became president. But he was already president for 4 years. He did the opposite of everything they're warning us about. Everything he said, Tony, actually came through. The record economy, record stock markets, record low unemployment, secure borders, energy independence, strong military, no wars, peace with North Korea. Do you see these other countries, what they're doing? They're laughing at us. They're not afraid of us anymore.
Right. Well, it's weird that they're talking to the American public on all their advertising and media. If he gets in, he's going to be Hitler. He was already in. He wasn't Hitler. If he gets in, there's going to be war. He was already in. There was no war. If he gets in, there's going to be trouble in the Middle East and with North Korea. He was already in and met with North Korea. Everything you're telling me, he was already there. None of that happened. Actually, the opposite happened of everything you're saying. He wasn't a bully. He wasn't Hitler. He didn't do anything except take the country through the roof. It was incredible.
And, you know, he can't be bought. And anybody, I don't care what it is, whether it's a business, whether you're a personality, whatever it is, when you got the power, you can't be bought. He doesn't care. This man doesn't need to go to this stress. Let's be honest. Who wants this job? Anybody that wants to go into politics, who really wants it? I know they're all trying. Most times they usually try to come in to do the right thing. But I think once they get in and they see the way the system is, it's like, what the hell? It's like a cop, for instance. I love the police officers. They go to school. They learn what they're supposed to do, blah, blah, blah. They get into the system. They get into the business. They arrest somebody. They put him in jail. Boom, 2 minutes later, he's out.
Right.
It's crazy as it is. Stop voting for the personality, exactly what Tony said, and start voting for the best policies to save this country. How many people you believe, Anthony, that don't like former President Donald Trump, don't like him because of his policies, or they don't like him because of a person? How many people would you say?
Oh, yeah. I would say the majority of them don't like him, and they didn't even know that they don't like until recently. Because up until then, remember, we grew up with The Apprentice and everything, and all the rappers were rapping about him and taking pictures with him. He was on all the talk shows when he was plugging The Apprentice. All the late night talk shows loved him. Everybody loved him until the media said, hey, he's Hitler. And then overnight, everyone hated him. Yeah, you're just being controlled by the media. No one hated the guy before. They knew what his personality was. That is his personality. you know what? When you grow up, you were from New York, and we were in New York a lot of times with the band. If you're from New York, it makes you into a different person. And if you're in high level business like he is, cutthroat with corporate executives and real estate, it does make you a different person. And that comes across. That's who he is. He's being authentic. He's being himself. He's an authentic, not polished, fake politician telling you what you want to hear. And then when the microphone's shut off, they're all laughing at you. He's telling you like it is. And that's his mode. So it just brushes people the wrong way. But
because he's confident. He's confident in himself, and a lot of people, when you are confident with yourself, people come off and say he's a prick. She's a whatever.
Yeah.
She's a C word, whatever you want to say. You know what I'm talking. Chris Picaro, my good friend from Rosario's, will be there in Roselle the last Wednesday of every month. How you doing, Chris? Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense. They just don't like him for that. We all witnessed. I love this questions, team. Stuff that you said. We all witnessed we all witnessed was when we placed a man who runs billion-dollar corporation in charge of America. He ran it like a corporation instead of a puppet politician who has no experience running anything in his real life. Former President Joe Biden was in politics for 47 years? 40,
he never had any other job except
has he done anything?
No. And that's the problem. I want someone in there who has real life experience dealing with brokering companies and dealing with litigation and dealing with all these different things that are going to come up. That's how he dealt with the countries, and that's how he dealt with oil companies and Boeing, because that's what he does for a living.
Yeah.
He's able to do that.
Well, that's what that CEO is responsible for the corporation, for all its assets, employees, profits, bottom lines, etc. A politician is usually fast-talking con man with zero experience at anything in life. We need a CEO. I love this, Tony. We need a CEO to get back on track, not another con man or a con woman. Is the United States ready for a woman president?
I don't know. The voters are going to decide if they're ready. But ultimately, if it was a woman, it has to be a woman who is intelligent, has great character, is a patriot, and who wants to make America first. That's the type of woman it would have to be.
Correct. And needs a set of balls.
Okay.
She needs a set of balls.
Well, that was at the Olympics. Right.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I believe it too. I think I don't have a problem if there was a woman president. We just has to be the right.
Got to be the right one. Right.
So we have people asking us question: is Trump a con man? Come on, when you're in that business, in the CEO world of, who knows? I mean, I don't know what they go through. All I know is what Trump has done for our country. All I can say, guys, all I can look at, and we're going to fight about this up and down with you people on the show or in general. All I can say is I can only experience that I have. I can only go back pre-flu, pre-COVID. That's all I can tell you. All I can do is go back to 2018, 19, when it wasn't like it is now. That's all I can do. I can't say anything else. The guy, that people are afraid of him. The country's afraid of, other countries are afraid of him. The guy from North Korea faked his death because they want nothing to do with him. They're afraid of it. They want our country great. So, look, it is what it is. I mean, there's questions of people asking, do you think he's a con man, former President Donald Trump?
No, I think anytime you're involved in a business, like right now I'm involved in the golf business, and we're going to launch this whole golf business. There's going to be people who are going to buy it. Everything can happen when you have a business. You don't know. People are going to be disgruntled. People are going to have different interactions with your company. There's contractors he worked with and they thought that they got gypped or what. That's just a fact of doing business. What does it have to do with his character and what he did? I'm only interested in the minute he was sworn in for those 4 years. Did the economy go up or down? It went up. Okay. Did the markets go up or down? They went up. Did the border get secured? It got secured. Was our military made strong by equipping them? It was. Okay, that's it. I only have to go by that scorecard. I don't want to hear about. I don't want to hear about who he slept with and what his wife said and what this guy and the contractor from 1984 said that he gypped them. And I just need to know, what did you do in these 4 years did things get better? And I want to see all the analytics. And they did. The border was the most secure ever in history. North Korea actually met with the U.S. president for the first time
For
ever.
the first time in history.
Right.
That's all that I know.
That's all I need to know.
That's all I need to know. Thank you, Tony, on that. Before we spent $132 billion in American taxpayers' money to Ukraine, we should spend the American money to help Americans first. That's not helping. The Brookings Institute published the cost of Desert Storm War was the equivalent of $80 billion spent. And the Gulf War cost an estimated of $61 billion, with America paying $9 billion total. Those three
how come
things
if
scared the
so
shit
you
out
have
of us.
two wars that one's $9 billion, one's 61, and then you spend 132 billion of American money to the Ukraine. That's more than both wars combined.
The question
You
is,
spent
and
for
we're running
someone
out of
else.
time. We're running out of time, team. The question is, what did Ukraine have on former President Joe Biden?
Exactly.
That was the question. On Hillary, on Hunter. They still
Right.
can't find that 8-ball in the White House. They don't know where that belonged to.
They've been sitting on that laptop for the last 5 years and nothing's been done.
It ain't going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't going to happen. We are coming to the end of the hour, folks. My good friend Anthony Melchiotti, folks. Let's not forget to check out newlifestelics.com and help Tony can help you out. Maybe get some of that, get your head back in straight there and talk to him. Send him an email. Tell him what you're going through. It can work. At least you got nothing to try. You're buying local and you're shopping local to a guy who's a good guy. I really like him and he knows his shit.
Right.
How about birthdays for August 9th, real fast? Robert Mincham, one of the great actors of our time. Chrissy Hine of The Pretender is turning 71 years old. Billy Hayes, you might remember Billy. She was in Witchy Poo and HR Puff and stuff. Now we're really going back. Baron Von Reschke, for all you wrestling fans, 84 years old. That's right, boy. Deborah Harry Blondie turned 77. Country singer Rodney Crowell celebrating a birthday today. Daryl Edward Hodrick from the Sherlock Holmes series, 92 years old. Roger Federer, for all you tennis guys, 42. Dustin Hoffman, 86. Anthony Rizzo, former Chicago Cub and now New York Yankee, 34 years old. You gotta love it, folks. Mikey Restivo from Mojo's Jukebox. Happy birthday to your mom, Margaret. BJ Thomas. Mel Reed, say hello to your fiance, Steve. Happy birthday. Say happy birthday to Dana. My good friend Dana. Louis Pipes, love you guys. Sam Elliott, one of my favorite actors. And my good friend Tracy, happy birthday. Also, Jan Provenzano. Happy birthday, my good friend Jan. Guys, we are coming to the end. We are at the end. Tonight, Taylor Street Italian Fest. It's big, 10 to 20,000 people they have. This fest is unbelievable with great food and great acts. We hit at 8:30 with the main event band, Irene Michaels, who is married to Arnie Granite, who owns Jam Productions, who's going to be helping Ocean's Rat Pack. We're excited to be teaming up with Jam Productions and Ocean's Rat Pack. It's going to be great. Irene Michaels will be kicking off the show at 8:15 or so. So make sure you come out and enjoy. And don't forget, Billy and the Vintage Saints playing tomorrow night at, what's it called again, T?
So Rookies Rock House.
Rookies Rock House in West Dundee.
West Dundee.
What time?
I'd say 8:30.
Is there a cover charge?
I think it's $10.
$10, guys. You got
Three bands for $10.
Two bands for $10. It is what you got to do. Make sure you guys go out and support it. And again, let's thank our main sponsors, Ace Hardware. Ace is the place. Buy local, shop local. Guys, don't forget to download the Ace Rewards app. Easy way to keep track of your points, coupons, and special offers. Ace is the place, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Guys, have an incredible weekend. Go out, enjoy life. Buy local, shop local, support local establishments, support live entertainment, get out of the house, be kind to one another. We're not all going to get along, folks. We're not going to all have the same opinion, but respect each other's, and you got to go out and vote. We're less than, 80 days away? You got to go out and vote, because if Kamala becomes president and you didn't vote, you can't bitch. If Trump becomes president and you didn't vote, you can't bitch. Get out. And when you go vote, bring 10 of your friends with you. Go to the polls. Vote. Forget that sign-in thing. Come on. You're not 90 years old. Vote. Do it right. Do what you got to do, guys. And remember the great words of Ringo Starr, peace and love. We need it, folks, more than ever.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.
And anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. Anthony Melchiotti, give my best to Ron and your family. My good friend. Thank you, Anthony. Nick Sahajas, the piano man. Take us out.
Oh, it's the end of the show. See you later from Tony O.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great weekend. God bless. Thank you, Ant.